Story number 2. This is one of those stories where you just shake your head and you go, eh? Because it's insane on the face of it. Okay, gang. This story is what's the old term? Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I believe that used to be an idiom for how insane things were going, although I probably have just dated myself abysmally by using that phrase, because that phrase is probably like, so 2015, right? I have just dated myself horribly. But like so many stories that we cover here on the Stone, on the channel, there is something deeper going on, deeper implications, okay? This comes from CBC, okay, the website CBC, based out of British Columbia. Here's the headline. For non-binary musician Rae Spoon, a cervical cancer diagnosis comes with an extra dimension of anxiety. Victoria-based musician received gendered cancer diagnosis after canceling a tour due to COVID-19. Yes, you heard that right, okay? Rae Spoon is a woman. Okay? She is a biological woman. That's never, ever going to change. Outside of some, I don't know, spirit cursing her, blessing her. I don't know how she would regard it. Or, getting some sort of magic power or something. She is always going to be a woman. It is baked into her chromosomes, into her very form. Okay, I'm not just talking about the physical body, but physically and metaphysically, she is a woman. Then, about 20 years ago, she decided that no, she was actually a man, right? So she was a transgender man. Well, then she decided that she was actually neither a man nor a woman. She was non-binary, okay? But then she was diagnosed with this cervical cancer, and this story calls it gendered cancer. Okay, let me read you a paragraph here from the story. As a non-binary person, Spoon does not identify as a man or a woman. Spoon says having a gendered cancer means people will make assumptions about their gender and how they should be treated. I forgot to tell you that, yes, Spoon now insists that people use the quote-unquote singular they pronoun when they use a pronoun to refer to her. Okay, which makes no damn sense whatsoever, because they is a plural pronoun. Okay, and I know people are going to say, yeah, well, people use they when they don't know the sex or the quote-unquote gender of a certain person. They'll say, they came to the door. They'll give some example. Really, though, when you don't know the sex of the person that you're talking about, you use the masculine singular. I can hear it right now. Oh, that's terrible. That's patriarchal. How sexist, etc., etc., etc. As Beetlejuice told Winona Ryder, hey, I don't make the rules. Okay, those have been the rules for eons and eons and eons. That's just the English language. Okay. And it's even worse to replace, to use a plural pronoun to refer to a singular person instead of just the wrong singular pronoun, okay? Because there you have a 50, if you accidentally refer to a woman as a he because you don't know that it's a she, right? Okay, as soon as you know though, you can fix it. But then here again too, you have a 50-50 chance, right? And even then, it's better to actually just give the wrong pronoun, okay? Instead of suddenly multiplying this poor person with a whole herd of people by using they, okay? I just had to get that out there. But listen to that, okay? Really concentrate on that. Gendered cancer, okay? Cervical cancer is something that men cannot get because cervical cancer affects the cervix, okay? And the cervix, as I'm sure all of you are aware, right? The cervix is actually a part of the female body, okay? It's a cylinder-shaped neck of tissue that connects the vagina and the uterus, okay? So, guys, okay, biology, not even biology 101, it's biology 100, okay? This is elementary biology. This is like the biology for super uber beginners, right? Men do not have a vagina. They do not have an uterus. They do not have either one. Therefore, they cannot get cervical cancer. And if you're a guy watching this, you can wipe the sweat off your brow and be like, whew, dodged a bullet on that one. That is one kind of cancer that I can't get. Now, of course, you can get pretty much all the other kinds of cancer, okay? But you can't get that one, so count your lucky stars. But, okay, cervical cancer now is being referred to as gendered cancer because people will make assumptions about your gender if you have a cervical cancer, okay? Now, this is what Spoon said. This is from that CBC story, but this is Spoon talking directly, okay? Spoon says pronouns carry the same weight as somebody's name. Quote, I think it would be strange for anyone to be digging around in that part of your body and then call them the wrong name. If your name was Chris and they called you Joe, it would be like, what? And then it's like, if they don't even know my name, do you even care? That sort of thing, okay? She went on by saying trans folk are often left out of screening and also for treatment because things like these types of cancer are caught later as it has that gendered element, unquote. Okay? This is just insane. Okay? This is what I was saying at the very beginning of this video, right? This is just madness unleashed upon the world, because what this is actually saying is that someone's ideology is more important than their health. Okay? This woman, she's not worried about the cervical cancer. She's not worried how the coronavirus could actually, muck up with her treatments for this cancer. She's worried that the doctor is going to call her the wrong pronoun, that the doctor is actually going to refer to her by her biological sex instead of her quote-unquote preferred pronouns of they. Because that is going to make her feel unsafe. That's going to make her feel unwanted. That's going to make her feel like, well, they don't even care. Lady, if they didn't care, then they wouldn't perform the operation. They wouldn't be trying to help you if they didn't care. Seriously. And don't think, well, they're just doing it for the money. Because there are plenty of other people that they could see. Plenty of other kinds of cancer. Plenty of other kinds of emergencies, etc. that they could be using if you're going to say that they're just doctors and they're just operating on people because they're grubby capitalists and they just want money. Okay? No. So if they didn't care about you, they wouldn't even be performing the operation. So there's that. Okay? But this leads to something else, okay? Because it is madness, but like so much madness, it doesn't just affect Rae Spoon. It doesn't just affect the doctors who are going to have to, I hate to say deal with her, put up with her, but that's kind of what they're going to have to do here, okay? This sort of mentality, this sort of ideology is something, this sort of madness is what affects everyone. Okay, because think about it like this. What is the point of medicine? It's health, right? That's why we have medicine. That's why we have doctors and nurses and drugs and things like that. Medicinal drugs, I will say. It's for health, right? Doctors are there to fix something, to fix our bodies when something goes wrong, or when there is Yeah, basically when something is wrong with it, whether it's a disease, whether it's a virus, whether it's cancer, whether it's a breakage in the body, like a broken bone, a collapsed lung, etc., etc. That's what doctors are there for. But you don't know what health is unless you know what the thing is that you're trying to make healthy. Okay? You don't even know. You can't know, because a healthy octopus looks different from a healthy elephant, right? Wouldn't you all agree? Octopus, elephant, fly, spider, squirrel, dog, human, they can all be healthy, but their health is going to depend on different things because they're different animals, right? That's just common sense. So you can't give something medicine. You cannot work towards the health of something until you know exactly what that something is, how it works, what is health for that sort of thing. And then you can say, okay, now that I know what is normal for this thing, now that I know what health in this entity looks like, I can see the privation. I can see what is missing from it. I can see what is making it sick. And therefore, I can work specifically to fix that. But if ideology completely scrubs out that, if it completely scrubs out objective reality, so that what that thing is, it doesn't matter anymore, because now all that matters is how a person feels, how he identifies, and what he chooses to be. Then all of a sudden, that assurity is gone. Let me give you an example. We've talked several times here on the channel about the dragon lady. Remember? He was a man who then decided that he was a woman, who then decided that he was a dragon, and he has spent hundreds of I don't know if hundreds of thousands, but tens of thousands of dollars on multiple surgeries to actually give himself horns, to take off his ears, to take off his nose, to give himself scales, to give himself a forked tongue. I mean, he's turned himself into a freak, okay? Because he says, I am a dragon. I am this mythical creature. I am not just a man who wants to look like a dragon. I am a dragon. So let's say that the dragon lady, okay, gets cervical cancer, like Rae Spoon, and they take her to the hospital. Is he going to say, I can't have cervical cancer because I'm not a woman. I'm a dragon. I'm a mythical creature. Right? You've got to treat me as you would treat a dragon. Well, what the heck are the doctors supposed to do with that? Last time I looked, right, there was no handbook for the treatment of dragons. Damn Hogwarts, I think they hogged all those books. They're not sharing. At least, as far as I'm aware, they're not sharing. And that's sort of a ridiculous, far-out example, but I gave it specifically to give a point, right? That you can't treat people when biology is pushed away for, radical choice and feelings, emotions, and desires. You can't do that. And then, like I said at the beginning, or as I implied in the beginning, this sinks down to everyone's level, because then doctors cannot make, a snap judgment when they see a patient. Because usually you will be able to tell, especially with the trained eye of a doctor, you'll be able to tell, oh, this patient is a male, oh, this patient is a female. And from there, the doctor, with his training, he can immediately start going through the possibilities, right? Like, okay, this could be wrong, this could be wrong, this could be wrong. We could have this solution, this solution, this solution, this solution. We can go in this direction or that direction or this direction, right? When you're not even sure, when you are straitjacketed by intersectionality, and you can't assume that someone is a man just because they look like a man, or he looks like a man. See, I did it, damn it. When you can't even assume that a man is a man just because he looks like a man, then you get into very dangerous territory, because I could fall into a coma right now. I could, plop right over from the screen into a coma. They would find me here tomorrow morning, still alive by the grace of God. They could rush me to the hospital, but then the doctor, he's not going to be 100% sure how to treat me, because am I a man? Do I identify as something else? Especially what is going to happen if I come out of that coma, but they find the underlying reason for that, and I say, no, you can't treat me like you would treat a man, because I'm not a man. I'm an elf, or I'm an alien, or I'm a woman, or I'm a cat, or I'm Catwoman. Hear me roar, as Michelle Pfeiffer said so brilliantly on Batman Returns, right? Do you see the problem here? That because of the madness that is being pushed onto doctors through intersectionality, then all of a sudden it's not just transgender patients who are demanding that their feelings and their choices circumvent and override biology. That goes down. That sinks down to our level, because now you can't be sure what anybody is anymore until you directly ask them, which is just going to hamper doctors incredibly. And much more than that, it is going to hamper medicine. This is a sign that the world is sick, because we care more for our personal little godhoods, okay, of being able to radically choose what our nature is. We care more about that than we actually do about our own health. And when you don't care about your own health, okay, that's one of the most basic primary concerns that a person can have. When you don't care about that anymore, or when it has become perverted and shifted to something like this, so now your primary concern for your physical well-being is that your doctor, who is going to actually be, hopefully curing you of your cervical cancer, your primary concern is that he not misgender you. That is when it's just further proof that your society is sick of madness, and that it is going to take a huge slap in the face to actually wake people up. But before that, know that people are going to get hurt. People are going to suffer. Some people, if this actually becomes more and more prominent, people will die from it. It's not a laughing matter. We have spent so much time laughing at this. We have spent so much time ridiculing it that we never even thought about the deeper implications of this. And let me just say this, okay? I don't wish anything bad to happen to Rae Spoon, okay? I don't know her, never have listened to her music, but hardly anyone deserves to die from cancer. I make a few exceptions for genocidal tyrants and child rapists, okay? They can die from cancer, but they're the exceptions that prove the rule. Otherwise, working in the funeral industry for 4 years, I've seen what it does to people, and it is horrible. And most people, again, outside of those exceptions, do not deserve to die in that manner, okay? But so again, I wish Rae Spoon nothing but the best, and I hope that she recovers from this. But she has shot herself in the foot because she is gripping onto her ideology so tightly that she won't, she is hampering her doctors. And by doing this, she is pushing this idea more and more into the mainstream, where it's going to affect everybody else. Even just more stuff to watch out on. That is story number 2.